Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us here again on Now We Drive. If you're a returning visitor, great to see you again. If you're new to the channel, hey, welcome. Now, today's episode is a little bit different because we're waiting on the Audi. If you've seen the last episode, we bought an Audi 66 plate from Copart Bristol, still waiting on the delivery date. Hopefully get it sometime next week and we actually start getting some real car content instead of me waffling on in front of the camera. So hopefully that'll be here next week. So fingers crossed now, bank holidays out of the way, we get that. And also we're waiting on the guy to get back to us about getting the key paired up with the red John Cooper Works that we've got sitting around waiting. So today is having a little look at, well, let me preface this by saying, and a quick shout out to Cars for Paul. Paul mentioned me on a recent video. We were both looking at the same 370Z. And I messaged him on Instagram. Oh, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram or on Facebook, I'll put them down just here, the links. But I try to update as much as I can, both on Facebook and on Instagram. So if you want to sign up, that would be great. So I was speaking to Paul on Instagram, and we were discussing the 370Z, and we both felt it was, if you remember the light blue one, we both felt it was a real stinker, a real bad stinker. Now, I started having a look around for 370Z because it's a really good car to start with. They're saying it's a little bit old now, moving into the later versions where they haven't really done too much with it, except for the new Nismo versions, which is a bit of a facelift and some extra power, etc. And they also put an auto box in it as well. There is so much you can do with that 370Z engine. It got me thinking, well, that'd be interesting to actually buy a damaged one, not the light blue one, I can assure you. Buy a damaged one, repair it, and let's really throw some mods at it in the engine and also suspension, because I've seen some ones out there, they're hitting 600, 700, 800 horsepower, some of these, and it got me quite excited. I had a look around, and that got me onto ASM, which is another platform for salvage cars. And it is quite a bit different. Look, I've noticed it before, but it is quite a bit different from Copart. As far as the interface goes, it literally is chalk and cheese. Copart looks like it was designed in the 90s, and it's like Windows XP compared to Mojave by Apple, or the Windows 10 version if you're a Windows user. It's such a nicer interface, and one that I would recommend having a look at. So recently I signed up, 50 quid plus VAT for the year, which got me a deep dive into the ASM site. And the reason I got there was because I found a 370Z Nismo, quite a late one, and there were still a few days to go. So what I thought I'd do is, let's try and win a car in ASM, bring some content to you guys, and give you a bit of a comparison to show you what ASM works like, how you can interact with it. Let's dive straight in and have a look at ASM in its full glory. Ah, what a beautiful thing, the ASM front panel interface. Compared to Copart, like I said, it's just absolutely different gravy. This is the logged in state. You can look for yourself as a unlogged in viewer, but this is me logged in looking around at this 370Z 2017 that I was mentioning there. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the car. It was excellent value to a point. I set myself a 10k fee to go to. On the fees for ASM, it starts at around 10%, and as the value of the cars gets higher, it goes down to around 5%. So on a 10k car, you're looking at about 450, 500 pounds. It wasn't that expensive. Really easy panel, shows you the location and the seller. It's just such a lovely interface. Different from Copart, the auction works whereby there isn't a definitive endpoint. It just adds time every time that someone bids. So I'm going to fast forward this video just to show you that I was just watching it, waiting. I made a few bids around the 8.5, 9 mark, but I was outbid about 3 or 4 times. And one really nice feature is you actually do see what it went for. So ASM or Copart, it's a toughie, and I'll tell you why. Great interface, superb value for money. You do get prices a little cheaper there, and also the information it gives you on most of the lots. But the one overriding negative about ASM is choice. You just have not got the choice on ASM. You're looking currently is about 3,000 items there, in fact just a little less. and you've got what, 11,000 on Copart. It literally is 3.5, 4 to 1 in favour of Copart, which is a tough one. And I will say that a lot of their ASM lots are considerably older. So I've had quite a busy week actually on Copart. I've been having a look around. I know I've got 2 projects outstanding, but I am a sucker for buying cars. You know what? My wife buys shoes and bags. I do like buying cars. Can you blame me? You're car lovers like me. You must enjoy it. I do. Anyway, so I started having a little look around today, or the last few days on Copart, and there was one car. In fact, there's been other YouTubers like Cars for Paul and others that have been having a good look around on Copart, and they're telling me, well, actually, you know what? There's not that much value on there, the way that they've consolidated the lanes, etc., which has started to change actually again. I know Sandy was down to 1 lane, now it's back to 3. So Copart are trying to find different ways to up their sell price, because obviously Copart make more money by selling the cars at a higher price. There's still tremendous value on Copart, but you need to be patient and you need to bide your time, and there are some nuggets out there, and this particular car I felt was tremendous value. So let's have a quick look at the live bidding. If you are partial to a little hot hatch, then I thought this was excellent value, and it's a shame that I didn't have any capacity to take it on. I would have bought it in a heartbeat. It could retail for anywhere between, I don't know, 10 to 12 if it was not Cat S, maybe Cat S about 8, but this was a really low damage car. It was a run and drive, and for the price it went, I just thought it was fantastic, given it was the 595 Turismo, which, wow, that was excellent. Now, unlike the Abarth, there was a car this week that I really, really wanted to buy. So let me give you some clues. M3 BMW and RS5, 4, whatever, performance, 4-door saloon, very, very aggressive styling, and you can buy a very late one. It's quite a new model. You can buy a very late one pretty cheap, and they're not easy to sell second hand. Any ideas? Well, one had come up, and I've been looking around for one for a little while now, because it is super fast, really high spec, really high spec. It's got every bell and whistle you could ever imagine. Not sure what they like to flip and sell on. Let me show you what car I was looking at. So how many of you guessed the Kia Stinger? I'm quickly showing you the second-hand price of the version of the car that I was looking at on Copart. But it's all right, you haven't got the badge kudos, an Audi or a BMW, but you get a 7-year warranty. You get every bell and whistle you could possibly want for this car. This is the one I was looking at. Only got 3,000 miles on the clock, 2019 version, with a really nasty dig in the side, but 2 new doors, airbags all round. It wasn't that difficult a fix, but one thing it was probably going to be quite difficult to source the parts secondhand, because it's so new, and also very, very difficult to try and resell it for any profit. So I'd set myself a target of 11,000. It went for just over 12, unfortunately, so we didn't get it, but I'm going to keep my eye out for this Stinger. Now, there was another car that was on Copart this week that I was looking on behalf of one of the Now We Drive viewers. Stephen, how are you? Stephen and I have been corresponding this week via email about a particular E-Class Cabriolet that I thought was a really, really super car. So I put it on my watch list, and I was interested to see how much it went for. Subsequently, he won it, but let's have a quick look around the car. I thought it was a fantastic buy. So Stephen, I hope you don't mind me showing it, but again, just like the Abarth, I thought this was tremendous value. Lovely combo, black, shame I didn't get the pictures inside, but it's black with the red roof, lovely leather interior, and it is the 350 AMG spec version, which is a really high spec car. And this should retail anywhere between 15 to 20k. This one's quite a low mileage one at 40,000. And speaking to Stephen on email, there isn't that much damage, and the parts are very much readily available. There are loads of Mercedes breakers out there. But I thought at 7,800, which I believe he subsequently got it for, it worked out to be an absolute peach. So that's about a wrap for this episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm hoping next week we do get at least the Audi here so we can start a bit of a tear down. Let's see how bad the impact in the back is. Also, let's see if we can get this JCW started because, you know, once we figure out that engine's okay, it will at least give us the impetus to go and actually get the parts and start repairing it to give you more content. So thank you so much for joining us here again on Now We Drive. Don't forget to press the notification and the bell buttons, you know, all the rest of the stuff so you get the updates regularly. I'm going to try and bring you something early part of next week, fingers crossed. But stay safe and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.